Alright, today I have a pick review from Barebones Lockpicking, which is a new Australian company selling sort of picks aimed at beginners. Alright, so other than I didn't put these in this case very well and they've gone everywhere, there you go, there's my first point. I don't love these little pocket things in this case. I thought I'd put tensioners in there and they sort of ended up everywhere. But otherwise, they hold on to these picks nicely. And if you put the tensioners in these pockets, they stick all right. So, what these are, they come in... There's this case. There's got a bunch of things that they offer. It's a nice case, hard case. There's a soft case here as well, which is nice. It zips up. Yep. Okay, so get these locks out of the way. This is terribly disorganized. So they come in a bunch of things. So we've got, these are the main picks themselves. They've got the barebones written on them there. They've got these cutouts. They come in 15 thou and 23 thou. So there are a grand total of 4 profiles available at the moment. Which is not very many, but I think when you consider that they're intended to be used by, newer pickers or beginners, this would be like an alternative to buying a set from Amazon. So these are your 4 profiles. You've got this short hook here. We've got deforest. Got a half diamond and a gem type profile. These are pretty good profiles. My main criticism with this profile selection is there really should be a steep hook. Something, a bit more like this shaped, or like this shaped, something quite steep. That's a Peterson one. This is a Sparrow's steep hook. This set just doesn't have anything that can do that. The deforest almost can do that sort of stuff, but they're more like a medium hook. They just, if it's really steep, that's just not going to do it for you. So they come in 2 versions. They come in these like bear picks, which are obviously the cheapest ones, in the 2 thicknesses. They come as well with these plastic handles, kind of like the Peterson ones. Compare it against a Peterson one, they're quite a bit fatter, a little bit longer. They're actually a full tang, unlike Peterson, which are, the metal only goes this far. The metal actually goes the whole way through these. I quite like these handles, actually, having played with them a bit. They're comfortable to use. They're about the right length. They're black. They're color-coded. So the blacks are, 25 thou, 23 thou. The fatter ones, and the white for your thinner ones, so it's nice having them color-coded. I quite like the handles. I mean, there's really not much to say about those. Handles are very much a individual preference. I find these comfortable to use. I think most people probably would. They're lightweight. Whoops. Adds a bit of rigidity to the pick when it's in your hand. You don't get that, like the, it's a 23 thou. That's reasonably sturdy anyway. Where's the thinner one? Yeah, you don't get that sort of like whole pick bend that you can, when you're really trying to lever up on something with a thin pick, you sort of bend the whole thing. Whereas when they're in a handle like this, it eliminates that. I mean, the pick tip itself is still going to be bendy, obviously, because it's thin, but I think that really helps. They also have this handle, which is comes in black and white. There's a black one with no pick in it, where you can just take one of these bare picks. It slots in the end there, and it's just got a couple of grub screws on each side that holds that in place. I found that to be fine. It's a little fat for my taste, but there's certainly nothing wrong with it. I found it was reasonably comfortable to hold. Like it works. It's a handle. I just think personally for me it's a little bit fat, but it's a good idea. It allows you to get that. If there's one you're going to be using a bunch and you want to buy the cheaper picks, maybe if you pick up one of these, you can, the one you're going to use, you can put in this and sort of get best of both worlds as an idea. So there's that. Let's go on to the tension tool. Oh, that's just the Allen key to undo the picks. So it comes with, slide these out of the way, a bunch of tension tools available. So they've got some Z-bars, which are sort of the bottom of the keyway option. I'm not really a fan of Z-bars being sold as bottom of the key bar. I think these are very rarely the best way to be doing that. To me, these are more for dimple picks. But having said that, you can use them as bottom of the keyway. They're just really the best. There's also this, one of these like sort of wire flattened tip things for bottom of the keyway. So those are what you get there. Bottom of the keyway tools are sort of bottom of the keyway. I prefer this style with just the sharp bend. I find that they get less in the way. I feel like by the time you stick one of these, into a lock, they just stick out a bit further, and I feel like you often end up gets more in the way of a pick tool than like a wiper insert style, but maybe that's just me. So there's those, and there's a nice array of top of the keyway as well, in various thicknesses. So the same as the Sparrows ones, basically, available in all of the thicknesses. So it's got the nice heavy fat ones as well as some of the thinner ones. So that's a thinner one. So you can see the difference in thickness there. So that's very nice. One thing I would say about them is they've a little sharp feeling. They feel like, compared to the Sparrows ones, are a bit nicer finished out of the packet. Whereas multi-pick ones, the multi-pick ones got that sort of nice rounded finish. They feel a bit nicer to use. This feels a lot more like it needs a finish. That same goes for all of the picks. So top of the keyway, they're great. Not many beginner sets sell top of the keyway tools. So it's really nice for those to be, or they're sort of an extra. It's really nice that those are basically included in most of the sets. And they're cheap. That's a big thing about these sets is they are very cheap, very affordable. Especially if you're in Australia. I don't know what they're going to be like if you're international with shipping or what other options you have, but certainly if you're in Australia, these are priced quite well. But these picks really do need some finishing on them. You'll never be able to see that, but they're quite rough, and you really feel that in the keyway. They really do all need a good sanding at minimum. Really, you can just sort of tell that these haven't been tumbled from the factory. They're just sort of the raw stamping. So that would be my main thing. If these could get just a basic tumble or a bit better finish on them, they'd be a 10 out of 10 recommend. But with that sort of lack of finish, it doesn't mean, like you can sand them yourself. It's not that hard to sand things. But it's one more thing that you've got to tell a beginner that they need to do, who might not really understand that they need to do that, or they just buy it and their picking experience is going to be worse. So I think, they could use more finish, and it needs a steep hook. But otherwise, I like the handles, I like the price, the profiles that they do have are good. They certainly work. I mean, I probably should pick something with one of them. Why don't we do that? Also, I've got a new lighting setup, and I suspect it's terrible. And I've just put the whole video in shadow, so I'm going to watch this again at the end and see if it's any good. But I don't think it is. Where's the pick I want? Let's use this one. So this is a key here. This is a Lockwood, just a restricted cylinder Lockwood. So it's got a pretty extreme bitting there with tapered pins. So, you know, if you're an Australian, this is the sort of thing that you might pick up early in your lockpicking journey. And, you know, this will certainly allow you to get into something like this. I should have risky trying to go for the lock with heavily tapered pins on camera. They're always, you know, a bit suspect. If I was clever, I'd have just used the master lock, but anyway. Right. But, you know, if it can pick one of these, you can pretty much pick anything with it. We're getting close. Oh, there it is. So there you go. Lockwood taper. If you can pick one of those, you know, most things are going to be pretty easy. So here we go. Let's do something else. This is a really cheap, like the Cineco. We can use the bottom of the keyway tool on that one. Let's use the, where's the one I want? No. Short hook. Alright, put that. Oh no! My light ran out of battery. That's bloody annoying. I really thought that would last longer than that. Thankfully I've got a power adapter coming, but anyway, you get a lighting review as well. There we go. So, you know, that picks locks as well. What was the bidding on that? Yep. You know, nothing exciting, pretty terrible, but that's the kind of thing that you're going to be picking, you know, early on as a beginner, and it certainly makes short work of that as long as you know what you're doing. So the picks do give you enough feedback. Does it turn back on, or is that just done? No, apparently it's just done. Yes, so in conclusion, I would recommend these as a beginner set. They're not anywhere near the same quality as Lock Tools or Multi-Pick, but they're not being sold at that price point or sort of marketing for that. You know, they're bare bones. That's the whole idea, and that's what they feel like. But they're much nicer than some of the, like the cheap Chinese pics I've received. So, like you look at this, like the finish on this is, I've even sanded that a bit, but it's pretty bad. You can see there's like solder here, and like the metal's not as good. Like they bend. They're pretty crap. So these are much better than what you're going to get on an Amazon set. Much better than those really sort of cheap ones or Banggood or whatever. But not at the same level as your multi-pick, your Peterson, but done by Peterson. They're up there. They're in that entry level. Get a set of these. See if you enjoy the hobby. If you really like it, expand into some higher quality tools later. But these will definitely get you started. These will definitely get you, picking some lucks, which is really what it's all about. So there you go. That's my review of the barebones. I got these for free. I'm not being paid for this or anything. I've given a pretty honest review of what I think about it. Keep them in mind.